if I can remember correctly, the last time I made a video, I was talking about how I had recently gotten married and what that had been like. And now I'm at a stage now where I am with child and having my first child. So this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a while. When I say a while, I just mean 3 months, Ever since that I knew that I was pregnant, I said, this is something I want to document, even just to share. This isn't like baby advice or pregnancy advice or anything like that, but this is just literally sharing my experience during the first trimester. So one thing I noticed immediately through YouTube was just there weren't a lot of Black women sharing their pregnancy experience at all. A few things I saw, some were positive, some were really negative as far as in the content. And so I just wanted to just share my experience. And if there were any women who had, oh yeah, that happened to me, or oh, it gets better here and there, to share that, because this is my first pregnancy. And so I don't know everything about what to expect. My first trimester had some ups and downs. And so I'm really, really looking forward to the rest of the pregnancy. But I just wanted to share what happened, literally what happened. What's interesting about my first trimester is I knew that I was pregnant when I was pregnant. The very first thing that I experienced that showed me and that led me to, let me see those early pregnancy symptoms, because I never looked it up, never really had a reason to at that point. But I looked up early pregnancy symptoms and realized why I was so fatigued coming home from work. And so the moment it started, I said, I'm going to check and see if I'm pregnant, because this just does not feel like my body normally feels. Now, any teacher knows what it feels like to come home after a long day of work. But this was like coming home from a long day of work times 5. That's how tired I felt. I had never really just come home and just plopped on the couch right away. I had energy to go eat a snack, go do this, go do that. I did not have that energy the week that I believe, maybe I had conceived. So that was my first cue. I remember being in the kitchen trying to make dinner, and it was just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I felt so heavy initially and tired. And I remember my husband saying, like, what do you need from me? What do you need? And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know why I feel the way I do. And so I really just was like, let me go get these at-home pregnancy tests. So I went and bought one, and I realized that it came back negative initially. But it was negative, it was like one line and then a very faint very faint line horizontally. And so I looked up, I said, I still believe I'm pregnant. So I looked up, what does a faint horizontal line mean on a pregnancy test? And it said that maybe you tested too early before there was enough of the HCG hormone to test positive. So test back in 4 or 5 days. So what did I do? I waited a week just to be safe. I waited 7 days and bought 2 pregnancy tests so that I would be sure. Took both of them, positive, positive. And I was not really shocked. Like, part of me was, but part of me was not, because I truly felt like I was feeling those symptoms I saw. So that confirmed it for me. I called the doctor in a few days and was like, took these tests at home. Would love to come in and confirm this pregnancy so I can get started on whatever I need. So I did that. That was great to do. And I went ahead and set up my 8-week appointment. So things started really rolling, and I might go out of order when I share some of the symptoms, but I'm going to just look at my phone notes, because I typed each week some of the things that I was experiencing during that time, just to kind of keep track of it in case the doctor asked for my visits, or in case, in the future, if I have more children, if it was something I wanted to keep track of, with this child this and that child that, I would have it. Week 3, I had a lot of cramping. It felt like the cramping that came before, the period started. Almost like ovulation cramps, but a little bit more intense. I was very, very moody. Again, at first didn't really understand why I was like that, but was feeling the implantation cramps. Week 4, heavy cramping at times, a little nauseous. Okay. Week 5, I was tired throughout the day, super hungry, but less cramps. So I realized that my appetite was picking up, but if I was super nauseous at the time, then I didn't really feel good. Like I might would feel sick. Week 6, things changed a little bit. Got really hungry during the latter part of the week, and used the bathroom a lot in the evening. So I didn't feel like I drank enough water during that time. So it wasn't that I was like in the bathroom all the time, but I could definitely feel like some changes happening. I did not throw up until about week 7. And I know they say week 6 to 9 is like the weeks that you experience or can experience the worst nausea. But for me, I felt like it started a little bit earlier, but it was on and off. But I threw up week 7. I stayed home a day or two from work because it was just a lot. And I even had a little bit of spotting that week because, and again, I looked up on Google just to realize, okay, what might be going on is that it was the week my period would have come on that next month. So I think my body was still adjusting to what was going on. Week 7 and 8 and 9, really, I experienced a lot of trial and error when it came to food. So I was trying to figure out what foods can I eat when I'm nauseous? What foods don't go well together? What foods does this baby like and not like? And if this baby doesn't like it, then I don't like it. So I realized and looked up that pineapples I couldn't really rock with, and that's my favorite fruit. So no pineapples, no pineapple juice. I was trying to get some pineapple juice so it would be something I could have some fruit and swallow instead of trying to chew. I was trying to do liquid based things, and pineapple juice didn't mix well. Hot fries. I really loved hot fries, and I had cravings for hot fries some of the weeks, and I realized spicy just ain't it. Let it go. I had some days that really faked me out, like, oh, you woke up with all this energy. Then around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, again, I would just start getting so tired. I felt so wiped out. I slept a lot. I was in the bed a lot. I didn't want to walk around the house much. I had just enough energy to get up and get ready for the day sometimes. But as soon as the school year let out, I was done. And thankfully, again, as the weeks progressed towards the end of the first trimester, I gained some energy back. It wasn't all just like I'm tired all the time, but for the most part, my body had limits still. And even now into my second trimester, I know that past 8 p.m., I'm pretty much not going to be out. I am pretty much going to be in the bed, getting ready to fall asleep at any moment. And my goal is just to get as comfortable as possible. So for me, that's been fans on, AC blasting as much as my husband can bear, and just really feeling comfortable. My baby bump is growing. It's not huge, but it's just enough to where I'm really, really being more conscious of how I sleep, how I sit, how I reach down to pick things up, and things like that. So, a little bit about the appointment itself, or really the two that I've had so far. They've both been really good experiences. I learned through talking with a Christian counselor who I'm talking with is just that when it comes to doctors and anybody who's taking care of you, you really have to make known what your concerns are. And so, one thing that I had, practiced verbalizing to myself prior to going to these appointments are just being upfront about either my past experiences at some doctors, some things that I didn't think they were considerate of, things I think they rushed, and being really, really upfront about that. I felt so much peace after my first appointment when I was like, this and this happened at this last appointment, and I really want to avoid that here at this new OB. So what do I need to do? How can we work this out? What do you need to know from me? Am I being clear? And I wasn't being rude or anything, but just trying to be as blunt as possible about my needs. First me, but then also really wanting to take care of the child. So if I'm stressed, that's not good for the pregnancy. So that's why I really felt like I had to be my own advocate, which was good. And my husband was able to come to those first 2 appointments with me. The really lovely thing about these appointments was both of them, my 8-week and my 12-week, I was able to get pictures from the ultrasound. And so I was not expecting, especially in the first appointment, to have any pictures at all. But being able to see the child there, being able to hear the heartbeat both times was just an amazing experience. So I thank God for the learning process that this has been so far, really learning how to speak up for my needs, how to accept help. My husband has been so helpful in this process, taking care of laundry, dishes, picking up food, helping me with my cravings. He would go and get certain foods that I thought I really wanted then, and by the time he got back, it was like I didn't want that food anymore. And I don't know, he's just been patient because I know that I've been wishy-washy about some things, not knowing that, or not always remembering that some of it is hormone induced and some of it is just me. Seeing somebody with a slushie on a commercial and now I want one. So I really learned that with my eating habits, I don't have to go and get something just because I'm craving it and just because I'm like, oh, well, I'm pregnant, I should eat this. So I am really, really making it a goal to eat more healthy now. The first trimester, it was really hard to eat meat. It's really just hard to eat, period, when I was nauseous. So I would try to eat foods when I was hungry and try not to get too hungry, because the empty stomach during the first trimester being pregnant is the worst feeling. It triggers the nausea, at least it did for me, and it made me not really be able to eat when I really, really needed to. So I did go to CVS and start getting some boost drinks and just things that would give me some of the nutrients I needed for myself and the child without feeling like I'm like putting all this stuff down my throat and feeling like it was going to come back up. So that was super helpful for me. So the beautiful thing also about my second visit was that we got to find out the gender. And finding out the gender was really cool. I went in not really wanting to do any of the invasive tests, but they had blood tests that I could do in order to find out the gender, and that was at 12 weeks. So about 2.5 weeks ago, I went and got that test done, another ultrasound, and they got the results back to us about a week ago. And so we found out the gender around 13 weeks, and they told me I'm having a boy. So that was kind of a surprise to me. I was okay with either boy or girl. And I decided, well, me and my husband both decided that 20 weeks is when we're probably going to wait to get the registry going, because we want that second confirmation so that we kind of know going forward what kinds of items to buy. I don't want to buy all these blue things and maybe get another report. So gender neutral things I might be looking at, but I've really just been saving up an account for the baby with money from some of my school checks to really think about things that maybe the registry won't cover, or just special things that I want for myself. I got a pregnancy pillow I ordered the other day. So there is a baby fund, and that's been fun to add to, because I'm just like, oh, baby Smith is going to have what he needs and all that. So that's been a fun part of the first trimester as well, just saving up for the possibilities. So thank you for letting me share. Just continue to pray for the Smith family as we go through this new time in our lives, and pray for wisdom in every situation. And please, please, if you have tips about the second trimester, third trimester, how to continue to work and be pregnant, please leave those in the comments. I will read them, and it'll be good for me to hear from other more experienced mothers. So thank you for watching.